Yeah, Mr. Pierre. Unmute. Let's see if it works. Here we go.
As a chat, there's quite a loud hum from your side.
I wonder why that is. Let me just have a look. Okay, has it changed now?
Yes, now it's quiet.
And now?
Yeah, no, it's still quiet.
Tell me when it comes back.
Now it's back.
That's interesting. I'll have to try and find where that loop is at. I know I picked up, we made a change on the electrics, and ever since then, I picked up a loop on the mixer, but I'm going to be making changes in due course.
Okay. But it is now nice and quiet.
Good. Let's keep it that way. Okay, so I think I'm going to get started, even if nobody comes up on that. I'm just going to go ahead, and I can't even get the statistics tonight. There seems to be, I've got them. They've come up eventually on the other network. So before anything happens, 528775639. 6287416. Okay, there we go. Good evening, everybody. I wonder who's going to come up this evening on 2 meters. I've got here on Zoom, but let's see if anybody is out there for this week's weekly net. ZS6 OPS 25 for check-ins.
Let's see if you can hear me. Zulu 06 Foxtrot Papa Sierra with no traffic.
All right, acknowledging ZS6 FPS with no traffic, a little bit low down, but working on the handout, I am actually getting you. ZS6 IPS standing by for any further check-ins for this week's net. Okay, acknowledging ZS6 JRM, also no traffic. Good evening, James. Long time since you've been up on net. Really glad to hear you here this evening. ZS6 IPS standing by for further check-ins. Yeah, I got 1902, and of course, temperatures are not that bad, so people haven't got a reason to actually be under the duvet. I must admit, it's quite inviting. The ZS6 IPS still standing by for this week's check-ins. All right, I'm just reading something here, but I made a good laugh about it. 1904, second last call in for this week's check-ins. ZS6 IPS standing by. I know there was another change that I made that could have affected the sound quality here as well. And I see that Zoom have changed their button locations, and every time I want to admit somebody, it's now going to the remove button, so that's not good. Okay, last call for check-ins. There's 6 OPS standing by. Mr. George. Just unmute and say hello quickly. Let's make sure your mic is working.
Z6 OPS is Z6 GRG, just checking in.
All right, I'm not going to key you up there now. Okay, good stuff. There we go, 19:05. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A special thank you to, of course, Pierre and George. And George has actually just come up on Zoom, and James is up on 2 meters, Z6 JRM. And of course, there's all those listeners out there that are so shy to act. Well, you're either shy or afraid to call in. I can assure you, I don't bite, and nobody else can either. But needless to say, I'd just like to say that it is Sunday, 29 May 2022. Time is now 19:05, and of course, this net runs on a weekly basis. Could be anything up to an hour, and it is designed specifically for the radio amateurs who have an interest in MCOM, although we might not just speak about emergency communications. The last 2 years has been dominated by COVID and still is. And then, of course, for the benefit of those persons that are not radio amateurs that would like to just participate and get involved, I do have a Zoom session which is available. So whether you are radio amateur, non-radio amateur, and you are listening and you'd like to join us on Zoom, or you would like to join us here, you're more than welcome to do so. You don't need to be a member of any group, body, entity, or otherwise. The only thing you need is a paid up IPASA license fee, and hopefully you've had supper by the time that 1900 comes along so that you can sit and concentrate. And that was a jab at George there. Who is busy digging in his fridge as we speak. If you would like to join us on Zoom, please just send me a WhatsApp message and I will add you to a group. And of course, I will share the link with you. And my number is 082-859-2684. And hopefully I don't forget to give the number at the end of the net again for those that didn't have pen and paper ready. Okay, let me clear the timeout timer just to make sure that, yeah, I think we'll be coming up for that 3-minute mark on the over. So let's clear this timeout timer from Z6 OPS. Okay, Z6 OPS returning, and of course, looking at the COVID figures for the last week, the problem is that last week, Sunday before last, that was the 22nd of May, we were subject to load shedding, and of course, on the previous week when we were subject to load shedding, the amazing thing was that the Zoom tablet kept failing every time I keyed up the microphone, so I lost Zoom. And then while I was on the handheld, yeah, signals weren't going out. So we genuinely have plenty of opportunity as radio amateurs to test our equipment and to find our shortfalls and shortcomings and try and fix them. And that was what was leading me up to the point that in the last 2 weeks, the figures have been a little bit skewed because last week I couldn't actually get the figures, and this week it has taken forever for the statistics page to load up. I think there are general internet problems throughout the country once again. However, in the last 2 weeks, we have actually increased by 7.5 million new cases that have been reported. So about 3,500, definitely the numbers have come down. The death toll is sitting at about 21,000 in 2 weeks. So even the global COVID figures have in actual fact been decreased quite considerably in terms of what we were accustomed to seeing of 15, 20 million, and of course many more thousand people that had been losing their lives. As far as statistics for South Africa are concerned, our figures this week again have been on quite a bit of a roller coaster ride, literally between 3,000 and around 8,000 a day of new cases. The death toll has been low, all under 10 deaths being reported. So hopefully we are actually moving now into that area whereby the overall COVID situation is on a steady decline. And I should imagine at some point we're going to see a major drop-off, a knee-jerk effect in essence, which should bring us down to reasonably low numbers. And of course, you know, our new regulations that are in play, and I've got a TOT to clear. Okay, ZS6OPS returning. Hopefully then these additional health regulations that have been put in play and that are currently being discussed will be open for public comment. I think it is next month, after the April deadline was extended. Hopefully some of this concerning regulation proposals can in actual fact be removed and taken out of play, and you know, people can settle down. Okay, that's enough for COVID. It's been quite an interesting week, generally speaking, in terms of other incidents and happenings. We had a fatal plane crash in the Free State, I think it was on Thursday, and also on Thursday there was another plane crash just outside of Alberton. 3 people were injured. The big story at the moment is there's a plane that has gone missing somewhere around Naples after takeoff, and of course all the authorities are trying to track the location of where this plane is. To date, I haven't received any additional information on that one. One of the concerning, as soon as it is available, I'll probably post it out on the groups once I know what's happening. Locally, there's been 2 major motor vehicle accidents. The one last night in just outside Pietermaritzburg, 2 taxis and a bakkie collided, and several people have been injured and killed as well in that accident. I think the truck was involved. And then today, I think the biggest one to consider is the bus that has gone down an embankment just outside Heidelberg on the November 3. 67 16 to 19-year-old children have been injured, and the death toll currently stands at 10. Now, we do have this public holiday that's coming up again, and well, we've got 2 coming up, and the traveling between Durban and Natal. The November 3 has always been one of those highways of main concern when it comes to traveling, especially high speed, that type of thing. And I think this particular accident is going to raise many concerns again amongst the transport authorities. Let me just clear the timeout timer. Okay, ZS6OPS returning. So basically, with regards to this particular accident, the recent report that came in late this afternoon was that the bus was traveling up from KZN towards Johannesburg. They came across another bus that had actually broken down, and they picked up all of their passengers and loaded them onto the same bus and continued en route to Joburg. So I think that you know, the fact that the bus was overloaded is going to contribute to the cause of the accident, and criminal investigations have been opened up on that. 10 dead, 67 injured. Numbers are pretty high, so not a very good day for reporting on that aspect. I'm still waiting for confirmation on some areas. Yeah, not to mention the fact that there's a vehicle currently alight just outside Midrand somewhere. So yeah, some of these smaller new cars are still burning out on a regular basis. I thought I'd just add that one. The one thing that I haven't had confirmation on as yet is some of the adverse weather conditions that are affecting us worldwide. I believe there's a couple of storms that are coming up that could have some disastrous effect on communities. Fortunately, these are not South African based at this stage. I think our biggest problem at the moment is the supply of electricity and, of course, the supply of water. I do know that on the 2nd of June, there's a major pipe being repaired again in the Vaal Triangle that is going to affect water to supply to and from Rand Water and the Eikenhof pump station, which is going to be reduced to 50% capacity. And of course, every time that Eikenhof station is affected, then of course water supply feeding all the way through to Rustenburg is affected. And I know a lot of people will question why I make that statement. Well, it's just one of those facts. Eikenhof, Rand Water, Eikenhof pump station, well, they supply the entire route, and ultimately the water ends up in Rustenburg. So with a shutdown to do one of these major pipe repairs, of course, it's going to affect everything right across the board. Now, as I started the net, I was actually having a good chuckle about one of the posts that was put out on one of the social media groups. Let's clear the timeout timer. Okay, ZS6OPS returning. Basically, one of the posts has been put out that somebody had come across a person having chest pains, and of course, they contacted the local security company. And you know what people fail to understand is the time that it takes in order to do these reports. I mean, I'm bringing this up specifically for the emergency communication aspect. You know, whether you pick up a microphone or whether you pick up a cell phone and you call somebody, you are going to spend anything between 60 seconds and 180 seconds just to get the location, the problem, and contact details out to the person on the other side of that call. Then if you are not in actual fact making contact directly with an ambulance service or an emergency control room, naturally they will then have to escalate it and send it out to the relevant authorities, EMS, JMPD, whatever the case might be. That could take another 60 seconds to 180 seconds. So by the time that the ambulance service actually gets the call, 6 minutes has gone. It's passed. It's finished. It's done. And that person who's had those chest pains on the side of the road could have had a myocardial infarction, and literally his heart could have stopped, and the human body's only got 3 minutes within which oxygen supply must be provided to the brain. So you quickly go from living with chest pains to being clinically dead. And then, of course, after 3 minutes, you would be considered biologically dead. So having said that, by the time that you've contacted the security company or your mate or your auntie, uncle, whatever, guys, stop it, drop it. You need to learn what the emergency numbers are. And if you're on a cell phone, just dial 112. That's the quickest, the simplest, and the easiest, especially if you are on scene. And if you use the 112, let me clear the timeout timer. Okay, ZS6OPS returning. If you are using the cell phone to 112, even though your GPS locations and that might be turned off, I have a silly suspicion that they will know exactly where you are. And therefore, the actual time to get the call through to the relevant persons will be reduced, and your patient could stand a better chance of living. Okay, that's it. No more from me. I'd like to bid everybody, well, let's just check and see, firstly, if there's anybody else that would like to add their name to the end of the list tonight. And then I'll give my telephone number again, or my cell phone number again. and then I'm going to close down. So are there any other check-ins? There's 6 OPS, standing by. Okay, there you go. No further check-ins. For those listeners that would like to join via Zoom, please contact me using 082-859-2684. And then you can get the Zoom link from me and, of course, join us on a Friday evening at 1900 for the net. Having said that, I want to bid everybody my usual closure during COVID. Please don't forget to physically distance yourself. Wear a mask in public, and of course, sanitize your hands on a regular basis. And by doing so, then I would feel a lot better when I say to you, well, be safe, be prepared, and of course, be happy. I want to bid everybody 7-3. This is ZS6 OPS, releasing 145.625 for general use. Cheers all. Okay, Mr. George and Mr. Pierre, you can unmute. George.
Hi, Chad. It's actually quite funny for me that I can actually contact you on 625 from my handheld all the way from Midrand.
Well, look, we know that it is possible. You are no doubt. There's no doubt about it. But you did make it through. So if you got a base antenna gain up there, yeah, that would definitely help, I must admit.
Yeah, no, this was just on the normal rubber ducky, but I will put up my outside with antenna sometime this week and see if it will be any better next weekend.
Cool, man. Anyway, I think I must get out here. I've done virtually 2 days of work in 2 days, so I never got much of a break this weekend. George still needs to get his bloody antenna up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to bail out. I'm really tired tonight, I must admit. I am finished. I don't know what happened to Kayla tonight. Maybe they've gone out. I don't know. And, of course, Adrian said he wouldn't be able to make it. Otherwise, the usual crowd would have been here. Pierre, are you still a SOL member, eh?
No, I'm not.
And a West Rand Club member?
No.
But you still with TJ Club?
Well, I would go there from time to time, but I'm not like a member of TJ. No.
Did they throw you off the TJ group because you're not a member?
No, they didn't.
They threw me off it.
I wonder why. Politics again.
These fucking clubs in the Ekelink are still pissing me off. But anyway, George, you're not a club member anymore, eh?
I'm not with Saul either.
You know what's amazing? It's Sunday evening, okay? The RAE results were released on Friday night. There's one person that has actually come up, and she's the wife of one of the older amateurs. Nobody else has come up on the repeaters. I lie. There's one other guy that came up on bloody hell, I don't even know where he came up. Oh, he came up on 7875, and I chatted to him and Raj there. It's unbelievable, this.
Yeah.
You know, we're never going to go back to that 2016. I don't think that there's ever been a 2016 incident ever where our class came up and we ran a net twice a week for fucking 10 months.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know but why these guys do the RAE and then they don't come up on air.
Pierre,
Yeah.
that's the next question that I'm asking. Why? You know, and it's not just like at the West Rand Club, it's all the clubs. I mean, 650, there's been nothing. 7875, there's nothing. 700, I haven't heard any of the new guys come out there. The Verenigen guys are busy running their bulletin. Other than that, there's nothing. It's quiet.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
It's unbelievable. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you during the week if I don't catch you on, well, I'll catch you next Sunday if I don't catch you during the week. And I'm busy working on fixing my cameras up because I know I'm looking at the TV screen or the Zoom screen where you guys are, but I'm not looking at the camera. So, you know, it would be a lot better if I'm looking at you here than looking at you here because, and then like I said, I think last week or the week before when I had Kayla and her sister and boyfriend on, my other camera that sits on the desk, I can see it's pointing here to the T. And I'm looking at it at an angle like this. And when I look at that camera, it's got me square in the face. That fucking camera is squint. It's too hard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you next week. Out of my shoulder sore. Let me get out here.
Okay, guys, you must have a good one.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool stuff, man. And I don't know if
Okay,
it's hot or cold, eh? All right, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. Cheers, man.